So it's back to work tomorrow for Colorado lawmakers. An error in marijuana tax law needs a quick fix, so the governor has called a special session to fix the mistake that has special districts like the Scientific Cultural Facilities District that funds the zoo and museum missing out on big bucks. However, one Republican leader told Denver 7 the change could trigger a lawsuit.
I think there could if we try to do something. I think that's very clearly, if you read Tabor in Article 10, Section 20, Subpoint 4 clearly states where there has to be an election held. And it says a tax policy change that results in net revenue increase has to go to a vote of the people.
The legal precedent, we believe, is very strong standing to enable us to make the fix. So I think we should just do our job, get the fix done, and go forward.
Well, to talk through the details of this special session, Marianne Goodland of ColoradoPolitics.com and Blair Miller of the DenverChannel.com are both here. So, all right, so lawmakers have been called back, but it seems some of them reluctantly, Blair.
Yeah, basically all of the past several days, probably the whole week, but especially today, it's sort of come to a fever pitch of Republicans and Democrats blaming each other over why this is happening. Republicans saying it shouldn't be happening, Democrats saying it's needed, and it's reaching ahead today as we head into Monday.
So how has this been overlooked? How could this have been missed, Marianne?
One reason given for that is that this bill, the Senate Bill 267, which is the hospital provider fee bill, was introduced so late in the session. It literally ran through the process in barely more than a week. And that's what happens when you rush something as significant as what is basically an omnibus bill with so little time for people to spend time looking through and making sure that there aren't mistakes made.
Yeah, because we're talking a lot of revenue lost here, right?
It's about $500,000 a month for RTD, something less for the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District. And then there's also several transportation taxing authorities on the Western Slope and a hospital district that's also impacted by this.
I know Senate President Kevin Grantham wanted to wait until January. Why can't they wait until January?
Well, I mean, I guess that's sort of up to interpretation. Governor Hickenlooper says we can't wait because this money is needed for these programs, and it's costing them, the zoo programs, RTD programs, you said hospitals and other people, and they say they need this money right now, or at least Hickenlooper does. But really, I mean, I think the Denver Post reported yesterday that it's sort of a small part of some of these overall budgets. So Republicans are arguing that this needs to go to taxpayers first and that it shouldn't be addressed just yet.
So how will this look come Monday?
That's a really good question. It depends on just how obstinate, if you will, the Republicans are going to be about this. They really don't believe that this special session is necessary. And there's some really interesting constitutional questions about this as well, which the Republicans say this probably should go to a vote of the people even once they get this fix put together.
Well, you also raised concerns about what will happen when this bill gets to the Senate Finance Committee.
Correct. If this bill gets to the Senate Finance Committee, and under the rules, bills dealing with revenue do have to go through that committee, it's entirely possible that this bill could die in that committee. It's a 3-2 committee controlled by Republicans. They vote this bill down, that's the end of the special session.
And goes back to a lot of people who have said this is a waste of money, right?
Correct. It's about $25,000 a day. Now, the governor has worked out something so that these special districts are going to pay for that, and that has raised a whole nother round of complaints by Republicans who are claiming that this is a pay-to-play kind of situation.
What do you mean?
That these special districts are paying for the special session, and that's just not how things are done. And they have a point. I've never seen a special session paid for anything other than the general fund of the government.
So what happens if this fails?
They wait until January. Jerry Sonnenberg, who was the sponsor of the hospital provider fee in the Senate, along with his Democratic counterpart, Lucia Guzman, had a bill that he has been working on. It remains to be seen whether or not he's angry enough to give up on it, or if he's willing to wait until January. He still has a lot of concerns about this constitutional question. So it would give them time to work that out, whether or not that really does have to go to the voters.
Sonnenberg himself just came out a few minutes ago and said his first thought on Hickenlooper's thing to get the cultural districts to pay for it was it's illegal. So we're kind of seeing how he's going to set this up on Monday. And
he won't be a sponsor of this bill. He's already said very clearly he won't be a sponsor of it. John Becker, the Republican from Fort Morgan in the House, who was one of the House sponsors, has also said he won't touch this either.
What about political implications from even bringing forward this special session?
The governor could really wind up with some egg on his face over this.
And I think that's already sort of happening right now. I mean, just a little bit ago, we had Grantham come out and say that the only thing that's worse than the special session is what he did today. Came out and having the districts pay for it themselves. And so the Republicans are really trying to frame this to voters as, look, Hickenlooper's being really irresponsible here. He's thwarting you with your own money, basically. And I think Democrats are sitting here saying that Republicans are picking a fight that doesn't need to be made. But
yeah. Well, we will be watching, see what happens this week. We'll have you two back so we can assess, give a grade to that special session, see how things went. So thank you, Marianne Goodland.